Hi, Francisco with BenQ here. Today, I'd like to take you through the features and functions of your RP7504 BenQ board.
One thing that you may not know is that you can actually create your Easy Write lessons ahead of time to open them on the board. You don't have to create everything while standing at the panel itself. You can download our Easy Write 6 software directly from our website, but we also have the Easy Write 6 app in the Play Store and the Apple Store as well. When you download that software, it will look exactly like this when you open it on your computer. You have mostly all of the same resources and tools to be able to embed all of your content, as well as create all of those manipulatives and those resources that you use every day. Once you've created one of those lessons, it's best if you drop it into your cloud drive. I can tap the 3 lines on the bottom left, tap the file folder, and now I can pull up all of my recent lessons that I've recently edited on the board, but I can tap the file folder again to be able to access my cloud drive. Now I can go into my Google Drive, into my drive, and I can now go pull that Easy Write lesson that I created ahead of time. This is going to bring in all of the pages from that lesson. So now that activity that I want to use with my students, I don't have to spend time creating it at the panel. I've created it at home or during my planning time, or maybe this is a resource that's in your shared team drive, and now I can easily pull it up and access these resources from the board. So now I have my different manipulatives that I can now use with my students. You can also manage all of the pages within this lesson by tapping on the page numbers, and you can see how many different slides there are within the lesson. I can click and drag to reorder, or maybe I want to duplicate and I want to have multiple slides of the same thing. I can tap the 3 dots, tap the copy icon, and it's now going to duplicate that slide. So I have multiple copies of that activity. Another resource within Easy Write that is great for student engagement is our collaborative option called Cloud Whiteboard. Cloud Whiteboard allows you to have a cloud whiteboard session, and it's just as it sounds. I can start a cloud whiteboard manually from the board, which is going to give a QR code that students can easily scan from their iPads or their Chromebooks, and it will prompt them to type in their name to join my lesson. Or if you have Google Classroom, you can start Google Classroom, and it will drop the link directly into your class. Now when students click on the link, it takes them straight into your Google Classroom. The Cloud Whiteboard takes everything I'm doing in the Easy Write whiteboard and it puts it on their student device. So you'll see here, if you have a student that isn't in your Google Classroom, they can easily scan this QR code, or you can drop this link with the session ID into your Schoology or Canvas account for students to easily access and join your Cloud Whiteboard. Once your Cloud Whiteboard session is live, you'll have an option down here at the bottom, the little person with 3 lines. This will show you all of your participants. You can see your whole class list. They've typed in their name. If you use Google Classroom, it will pre-populate the name that they've been given in their Google Classroom roster. And they default as view only. So their pencil next to their name is gray because right now all they can do is view what I'm doing in my Easy Write. But when I tap on an icon and I click and drag and I move these resources, or if I make a note about something that's going on, what I am doing in live time is happening on their device. So even when I move into the next page and we work on an example, everything I'm doing will navigate on their computer. This is great not only for a collaborative option, but even just accessibility. Sometimes you have students that have to sit in the back of the room or they're off to the side and they can't see very well. You're now able to take your lesson from the front of the room and push it directly to their device. But maybe you want the students to collaborate with you. I can pick and choose who I want to have editing rights. As I mentioned before, it defaults them to view only, but I can tap on their little pencil and the pencil will turn blue. And now they have the option to edit this lesson. So if I allow one person to edit and they edit from their computer, it's going to edit on the board in live time along with everyone else in the classroom. This is a great option when you have students working in groups and maybe one person is going to be editing on the front of the room, and so everyone has an opportunity to see and learn from one another. An option that the students have when in Cloud Whiteboard is they have a little feature to raise their hand. So again, this is just a great option for some of those students who just don't feel comfortable raising their hand and asking a question out loud. You as the teacher can quickly see who has a question, or you can quickly take a poll as well. Whenever the students raise their hand, a little red bubble will appear right here with a total number of hands raised. So it's an easy way to say, raise your hand if you don't understand, or raise your hand if you've got it. And now you can quickly see how many students in your classroom are ready to move on to the next task. When you end your Cloud Whiteboard session, it will actually keep that session open in your student's browser, and they can continue editing on their own. This no longer is a live session, so what they edit on their screen is purely their copy now. It's not in live time for everyone else to see. So a great option here would be to have an independent practice piece at the end of the lesson, so that when you end your Cloud Whiteboard session, the students get to continue working on that independent practice, and then they can just drop it right back into your digital classroom so you can see if they've got it.